Well, good evening. I'm Epstein, and here we are with your SPDR ETF stock market wrap-up, and this is Tuesday evening, March 18th, 2025. I want to ask you to do me a favor. Tell me some new markets you'd like me to cover that are popular, all right? I'd like to get rid of some of the ones we cover every single night and add to them, but they can't be things nobody's heard of, all right? And I'm not interested in double and triple ETFs that load up on that. We can do futures for that. We don't need those to do that. So your help be greatly appreciated. All righty, so let's go to a few things first. Tomorrow morning, we're getting the Bank of Japan coming out with their monetary policy. And at 1 in the afternoon, and this is Central Time, we're going to get the Federal Reserve monetary policy, followed 30 minutes later by the press conference from Chairman Powell. You know, today you woke up to news about Israel and Gaza and how they hit it, and another nearly 400 people or so dead. Not good. And the peace process there over. Then we heard this afternoon that the president had a lengthy conversation with President Putin of Russia. And some people might call this a failure. I call it a big win. And the fact that, number one, they talked about Ukraine was good. The president walked away not with, and I'm talking our president, Trump, walked away with nothing that he wanted, really. He wanted a big ceasefire. He did not get it. What he got was a concession by Russia temporarily for 30 days not to hit energy infrastructure. Now, President Trump said in the statement it was energy infrastructure and infrastructure. Russian media is saying it's meant to be energy infrastructure. Whatever it is, they agreed on something. They also agreed they're going to keep fighting. They agreed they're going to keep fighting at sea. They're going to keep fighting at land. The drone attacks are going to continue on. Russia made its demand, was pretty much known. They don't want the U.S. to give any more arms to Ukraine, and they want them to stop with the intelligence. And they don't want Ukraine to be able to rebuild its army. So Ukraine's going to sit there. They lost Crimea, and now they're going to believe Russia. They're going to basically be no army that they can rebuild, no rearmament, and they want to trust Russia for that. So that's a non-starter to begin with, but not as bad as it sounds. Once you have things on a table and you have positions being done, the whole idea here is that each party gives something and you walked away with something to give. I consider it a win because you got something done, and now they have 30 days to work at this and get a few more things done. Prisoner exchanges, different things of that type can be happening. So I viewed that as a win. The next thing I did today is I was watching Jensen Huang speak at the GTC conference. 15 minutes in, I realized I don't have anywhere near the knowledge of what they were talking about. I was hoping he was going to roll out new products now to help the stock, to say things, because he was prepping that. Well, the earliest I see the new Robin project they're coming out with is 2027. I understand all the clusters and people have to keep buying, and he made that very clear. There's going to be continual buying. He showed how the current chip, the new one, compared to the old one, how the sales are exploding, but it wasn't enough. The market was down $4 in NVIDIA, and that's how I look at it. You know, normally his speeches rally the buyers, and it did not. That's the way you have to approach it. All right, so let's go to the marketplace and get an idea of what we have here. When you and I look at the market, it's still red, so the stock market didn't hold on. Amazon, we were just talking, is it going to go into the 190s? You're there. Netflix gave back practically everything it made off the buy ratings that came out yesterday by some brokerages, gave that up. Even Schwab down. Home Depot, you know, I keep seeing this 350 number is important, and it keeps coming down there. NVIDIA, as I said, lost ground. Tesla getting hit. It's only a question, I think, of when it gets under $200. That seems to be what a lot of the brokerage firms are now looking for. Waste management down, uranium still in this 24 range right now, Meta down. And obviously, you know, the big news was Google going to pick up Wiz, $32 billion acquisition. It's not the size and the money. Does it go through is more important to me. Because if it does, and it looks like it will, that that doesn't mean I'm saying it looks like it will. And it looks like it will to the investment community. If it does, then that opens the door, just as Trump ran, for more and more of this. Under Biden, I doubt this would happen. So that gets interesting. In the metal markets, still basically getting a bid. Now, when we look at the bond energy, we had come down pretty hard, and we've got to bounce, and we're about 50% or so into the range from the break. The market has now gotten lower and low and a higher high, so it's trying to make a trade bottom is the way to look at it. What I pointed out yesterday is any rally is going to first run into a brick wall of the 18-day average, which I'll go back one day. This is where you were yesterday. And I said if it rallies further, the next wall is right there at the 100-day average of closes, and that's just what happened. You're not trending. You've had a bear market rally, but you're no longer in the bear. You're over the 18-day average, so the bias is up. The question is, does it stay up? When I look at the momentum, you can see the sideways action that's happening in the Bollinger Band, and the arms of the band are starting to do this because really volatility's come out of the market. It's just sort of drifting around here, and momentum is trying to turn up a bit. If you can close over the 100-day average, you're going to give those that want to own this a bit more confidence in owning it, but I still don't see a trend developing 1, 2, 3. Now, Dutch Brothers lost its bearish embedded reading. That doesn't mean it can't get it back, but it's the first close, and I'll take you right there, where the market has recently not had both numbers under a 20 level. When that occurs, it is a sign before price moves, often, that the market's going to make a run to the closest moving average before it goes and makes a new low on the move. If it re-embeds tomorrow by the number getting back and closing under 20, that game's over. It's got to redo that. But going home, I think that the smart shorts, I could be very wrong on that statement, are coming out of the market. In CrowdStrike, so we've had a rally back into the key resistance. You now have pretty much gone with a market that's still hanging in here with lower highs, lower lows. But if it can clear the highs of Monday and close higher, you're out of the downtrend. So you're right at a cusp in this market. In Rivian, the market rallied up, as you can see, and held on at that 18-day average. Lucid also had about an 8% rally today. As you know, these companies have a lot of software that people want. Lucid, of course, has a great deal in that they've got the Saudis behind them, but they better start producing cars. They're a high-end vehicle. They're unbelievably fast if you've ever been in one, and they're super luxurious. So they're not the everyday car. Now the question is, what can they do to produce more cars? In K-Web, so you went up to the Bollinger Band, and each time we've done this, we've had a pullback in the market. But the Chinese internet companies are on fire. China's embraced them again. Now they need them to do everything because China realizes the days of them getting AI from the U.S., chips and so on, whatever they get from us are going to be low grade if they want them. They're better off building their own, and that's what you're seeing. So there's a revolution there going on. We saw today some numbers in housing. I almost fell out of my chair, an 11% or so increase in new home starts. I went, what the heck? The National Association of Home Builders just came out with their index a day or two ago, and it was bearish, and yet you're up 11%. Yet the market today couldn't hold on to a rally. So I am beyond confused fundamentally. As a chartist, you can see you're losing and have lost the bearish embedded reading. Let me follow you through this. Here are the numbers, and you'll see they were going sideways for a while under that. Then they finally got up to, and you'll see this was Friday, yesterday. They didn't close over 21, they did today. So just like I said on the other, on Brothers, this is now saying it wants to rally to the 18-day average before it gets under this number. Is it going anywhere? I think you've just taken all the volatility out of the market is all that's there. But from my perspective, as a momentum trader, and I am one, I would not want to be short anymore. In Tesla, I still like the downside. It's very oversold. This is a failure now. The market's got both numbers back under 20, so it lost the embedded reading. Remember what I was explaining? You can lose it, but if you get it back right away, be careful. I'd want no part of the market. If it builds on this downside momentum, the 203, 204 area is the next target here. In XLF, this is now in your financial select services. I can make an argument they get up into fight a battle at the 100-day average in the 18. The problem is it's not a buy, nor is it a sale. The market had a vertical price break. You've had a 50% or you're trying to get a 50% correction. And so far, that's it. Unless you think it's going all the way down and all the way up, why be involved? In XLI, the battleground, as I see, it's the 200-day average in the 18. You can see how you came back yesterday, and today's you fell back. Basically, that 200 was trying to hold the market. You're void of a trend here. You have a higher high and lower low. I see nothing there. And on the energies, I was so hoping off the situation watching crude oil jump this morning that this might get to the upper Bollinger Band as it's overbought. Now I question, is it wasting its power? Gold, on the other hand, I think the average person just going like this. Number one, gold's in the headline every day somewhere. You're seeing that because it's making new all-time highs. Number two, it's your hedge against whatever this tariff war is going to turn into. Number three, it'll eventually give you a correction. It inevitably does. Number four, it's not for everybody. Just keep that in the back of your mind. But this is the gorilla glue trade. You hear me talk about that. It's when the market locks in and sits on the Bollinger Band and it starts forcing stochastics to embed. And then it takes on its own life if they embed, because then you've caught all the shorts and the market starts having them buy their way out of short positions. SLV, overbought, still fighting at the upper Bollinger Band. Copper, now you're at the 200-day average. From my perspective, the first challenge of a 200-day average, you do this. You wash your hand of the position and step back. That is almost a one-year average. And if you look, when markets get to it, it's interesting. When it fell to it, it gives you a bounce. When you get up to it, I wouldn't be surprised that we get a bit of a break here, if not more. BND, I'm lost with interest rates. Why not wait for what the Fed says? Look at where you're at. You're right on the 200 and the 18-day average. Then we come to the dollar. It's still bearish. There's still nothing acting good. And the more and more of these numbers that keep coming out, they're mixed. You know, we saw the New York Empire number. It stunned me how bullish it was, or bearish. Did you look at the number? Did you look at today's number and see how bullish the housing was? What's going on? We're getting crazy numbers, big time swings that the market's not looking for. And I understand what that does to the dollar. I think that, as traders have labeled it, the exceptionalism of the U.S. economy for the moment is gone. The same with the U.S. dollar. If you don't believe me, look at what's happened. And you have to approach it that way. This is part of the Trump plan. And if you don't get that, shame on you. He ran that the dollar's too strong, interest rates are too high. Remember all the things that he said. Tariffs, we're being treated badly. We're not going to put up with that. He's going to get with Putin, find a way to end the war. He tried to do it with Hamas. They wouldn't listen. And he immediately said, you're going to pay. There's hell to pay now. And look at what he did. Israel says they had called him. They told the U.S. what they were going to do. And then Netanyahu came out and said, this is but the first wave. They're unleashed. Hamas, please settle this deal is basically what you have to do. When we take a look here at the FXE, Europe running to the upside. They've got to arm themselves. Germany today, and this is another Trump win. They're changing their constitution. They have to. They have to become self-defense. And today they approved this whole idea. So this is a big, important move. It's a landscape change for Europe. This is why their stock market is on fire and we're falling back, because they have to go into armament. They can't do it all at one time. And don't you dare believe that they have the ability to do what the U.S. has. They don't. But it's a very strong beginning. And this is what Trump wanted. He wanted us to stop supporting NATO. He wanted us to be part of NATO, but everybody to pay their fair share. He's getting that. Forget that I'm talking about Trump or Biden. I'm talking about what the man that the U.S. voted in, what he ran on. And when you see these things happen, just don't get excited about them. They're not coming out of left field. He apparently has a plan that he's executing. Now, I have a plan that I want you to execute. Why not take advantage and go to our market research at iraepstein.com, because we're going to be writing all about all these things now. I'm going to be doing a special report, as I told you. I was going to record it today. And then I went, wait a minute, FOMC meeting tomorrow, Bank of Japan. Why don't I just give it a day or so, and I'll have more information I can put in the report. Go to iraepstein.com and go to free trials. You'll see it there, our free offerings. Away you go with that. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great day, and I'll catch up with everybody tomorrow morning. Take care.